Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a big one. Why chasing motivation so often feels like a losing battle. We're going to talk about the real secret to making lasting change, and it's all about building simple habits. Let's jump right in.
So you know that feeling, right? One day you wake up and you are on fire. You're going to conquer the world, write that book, finally start hitting the gym. And then the next day, poof, it's just gone. If that sounds familiar, well, you're definitely not alone. This is the classic trap we all fall into when we rely on something as flaky as a feeling. And this really gets to the heart of it. Let's think about it this way. Motivation? That's the spark. It's bright, it's hot, it gets things started. But it's also temporary and, let's be honest, kind of emotional. Habits, though? Habits are the engine. They're not flashy, they're not exciting, but they are automatic, consistent, and systematic. They're the things that just keep chugging along long after that initial spark has died out.
So yeah, this leads us right into what we can call the motivation trap. Think about it. When we wait until we feel like doing something, we're basically giving up control of our goals to a mood. And moods, they change all the time. That's exactly why so many of our best plans just fizzle out before they even get off the ground.
Okay, so if motivation is out, what's in? Habits, right? But what even is a habit? Well, for what we're talking about, a habit is basically an action that's on autopilot. It's so automatic you don't even need willpower or decision-making. I mean, think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and have this big internal debate like, do I have the motivation to brush my teeth today? No, you just do it. That's the kind of power we're trying to tap into.
All right, so let's get into the why. Why do habits just crush motivation in the long run? It really comes down to a few key reasons why having a system is always going to be just waiting for a feeling.
And the first reason is probably the most obvious one. They're automatic. Habits literally put your progress on autopilot. So when your motivation takes a nosedive, and trust me, it always will, the habit is just there, ready to carry you through. It completely removes that exhausting daily debate with yourself and just gets it done.
You know, it really all boils down to this one simple truth. I love this quote. Consistency beats intensity every single time. We get so caught up thinking we need these huge, intense bursts of effort to make any real progress. But the truth? The real magic is just in showing up, day in, day out. That's what builds unstoppable momentum.
Let's take an example. Reading just one page a day. That doesn't sound like much, right? But do that every day, and you've read a 365-page book in a year. And way more importantly, you've built a habit of reading. That is so much more powerful than having one heroic weekend where you read 100 pages and then don't pick up a book for 6 months. It's those small, consistent steps that are the real foundation for progress.
Okay, and this brings us to the third reason, which, honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. Habits compound. You know how compound interest works with money? A little bit grows, and then that growth starts to grow? Well, habits are like that for your life. The effects of your small, daily actions, they just multiply over time. Motivation might give you a one-time push, but habits, they give you exponential growth.
So let's break down what that compounding effect actually looks like. It always starts with some tiny, almost laughably small daily action. And for a while, honestly, it feels like nothing is happening. The progress is so quiet, you might not even notice it. But you just keep going. You stick with it. And then one day, you kind of look up, look back, and realize, whoa, all those tiny little steps have added up to this massive, life-changing transformation.
So to really see this in the real world, let's talk about a great little story that illustrates something called the 5-minute rule. It's about this guy who really wanted to get in shape, but he hated exercising. He could never, ever find the motivation to do a big, scary workout. So what did he do? Instead of waiting for a feeling that was never going to come, he just built a system, a really simple one. His goal was to get fit, but his habit, his tiny habit, was just to walk for 5 minutes every single day. That's it. No pressure, nothing crazy. And you know what happened? Eventually, those 5 minutes started to feel pretty easy. So they became 10, then 30, and that walking slowly turned into jogging. And before he knew it, he had this incredible, life-changing running routine.
And this is the absolute key to his story. His transformation had zero to do with motivation. It was all about the simple, boring, repeatable habit of just showing up for 5 minutes, whether he felt like it or not. The system did all the heavy lifting for him.
Okay, so this is all great, but how do we actually do this? Let's talk about the practical stuff. Your actionable takeaway. Here's how you can build your very first tiny habit.
like right now, today.
All right, here is the golden rule. The single most important thing to remember. Whatever it is you want to do, you need to shrink it down. Make it so small, so ridiculously easy that you literally can't say no to it. The goal on day one is not some big result. The goal is just to show up, to not break the chain. You want to make it so small that your brain doesn't even have time to come up with an excuse.
So what does that look like in practice? Well, say you want to read more. Don't tell yourself you have to read a whole chapter. Just read one page. Want to start meditating? Forget about 20 minutes. Just do it for 1 minute. And this is a great one. You want to exercise? The habit isn't the hour-long workout. The habit is just putting on your running shoes. That's it. You do that, you've won the day.
Look, if you take only one single thing away from all of this, let it be this. The whole secret is to stop waiting for the perfect mood to strike. It's not coming. Or at least, it's not reliable. You have to stop handing over control of your goals to a feeling. Take that control back by building a system, and start with the absolute smallest action you can possibly take.
And so, that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Forget about the huge, intimidating goals for just a second. Ask yourself this. What is the one tiny, ridiculously small habit that you can start today that, over time, could have the power to change absolutely everything for you?